Hi folks, I'm Spence, and I was the writer and director and did an absolute metric butt ton of other roles on Death Blow Killer of Killers, which you are now listening to a commentary for, so let's go! Now this bit of text at the start that sort of sets up what Inc. is, the International Network of Killers, it was the last thing I added. It wasn't originally part of the script, but I'd written all this background of what this organisation was, and then there was no way of sort of inserting it into the plot anywhere. So I thought, let's have a cool bit of slidey text at the start. Here we have Jadzia, who plays Elizabeth in our film, and a title card. That was the first thing I edited, actually. Now, these scenes of Jadzia just being super cool were all filmed in a school hall. We filmed the entire film at a school. If you watched us make this bit looked hilarious, this entire sequence, because I didn't have any lighting stands, and Charlie Fallon, whose name is there, literally just held a sort of strip light above my head to film most of this. But it looks really moody. We didn't do any of the colours. Everything was filmed with like a sort of tungsten glow, and then the colour stuff was added in extra, as were the muzzle flashes, because those are just toy guns that were very cool because you could reload them and pull the slide back. So they did fire stuff, but they did not look like street legal at all. They looked really real. I bought them off eBay. But they look great for the film. They just didn't fire blanks or anything. Here is Charlie's car, which we got somehow at the very last minute. Oh, hang on. Effects. That is not a real cigarette. Sorry, cheeky bit of effects. The car. Charlie was restoring the car, and this scene was supposed to take place in a hotel room, which we could not figure out how we were going to make a hotel room. And then he offered us the car when he sort of joined the crew, and we were like, oh my god, we'll put that scene in the car because it's free 60s set design. And it looked great. This was massively influenced by One Car Y films. I'd been watching a lot, and obviously like Chungking Express, the whole step printing thing. R.I.P. my friend Stephen, who just fell and hit the ground, whose sunglasses and trousers broke during that fall, but it's what we do for movies. I was really pleased the red was not supposed to be a part of this sequence either. That was just a happy coincidence that everyone's costumes had a bit of red. Just to sort of make this bit even more stylised. It's sort of referential to the very opening of Tokyo Drifter, which has a few, just like this really high contrast black and white, but has like a really weird orange item. Tokyo Drifter, other Sujin Suzuki films were a massive, massive influence on this film. It was why we made it, really. And there's some shots that you'll see later from a different Joe Yoshida film that I just stole. Hence why everyone looks very 60s. Because that was what we were going for. I love the green. The green came out really well. To be honest, I'm really pleased with the look of this overall. This stopwatch, which all Inc. members have, apart from the fact that we literally only had one because it was my mum's and we just randomly found it. You'd see how windy it was. I was hoping that it would give a sort of Akira Kurosawa vibe. This shot was definitely supposed to have that with the digital zoom added in. Now, we were absolutely blessed to have Jadzia, who's on screen at the moment, and Mace, who plays Sebastian. They were absolute troopers throughout this entire shoot. They worked so hard and just nailed the roles, really, without a massive amount of direction, to be perfectly honest.
Perfectly on time, as always.
I decided to add in the sort of little title cards for each character just to basically set them up without them having to explain themselves.
Hostility, voice there, Lisbeth. Why'd you
Now,
be so cold like that?
talking of performances, Mace especially just nails being this cocky asshole. And bearing in mind, all of this is dubbed.
Why'd you bring
It was so windy that we couldn't use any really of the dialogue that we filmed
Once told me,
at the time, so we post-synced the entire thing.
surrounded by
And they did such an amazing job of replicating the doc without being able to see it, because we filmed it on the day, like just in that school hall that we filmed the intro in.
Oh no. So, it's you. They sent
I realise I'm just watching the film now.
me. Oh. Oh dear.
I still love that line delivery, the whole thing. They both did it so well because they're both playing such different roles. And they never met before. We did our rehearsal online and then just had to throw themselves into this really cheesy dialogue that they did so incredibly well.
Even after all these years.
We never forget.
This was all shot on one lens, which was a
Okay then.
very wide-angled stills lens. Oh, it's me! As in still in man mode before transitioning. These are all digitally added zooms because, like I said, it was just shot on one wide-angled stills lens. Now, this shot coming up of me dying was literally just taken from the film A Cult Is My Passport, which was where this whole bit was influenced by. That was supposed to be multiple shots, including, the whipping the coat off, the run, everything was supposed to be all separate. It was literally,
I've known you long enough.
Jazzy went, we can do it in one go. And we did it in one go, somehow. It was amazing. They just rehearsed it while I was setting up the gimbal that we filmed it on. And away we went.
And why is that?
I realise it doesn't really make sense what she's doing there. She's supposed to be timing his blood loss from being shot to find out how dizzy he will be. I spent so long blacking out Jadsy's sunglasses there because you could just see me because I stupidly wore a white t-shirt to film that sequence. You just look at the way that the trees are going berserk in the background and you can tell how windy it was.
You think this is my end? You're the one hiding behind a tree with nowhere else to go.
There is no joy in life that quite compares to watching dialogue that you wrote and were like, this could be awful, come to life and just be... Just seeing those characters come to life. And again, I was so blessed to have Jadzia and Mace on board. This was probably way too many post-processing effects. That's another Cult Is My Passport stolen frame. Again, didn't quite work as we were expecting to, because originally the camera was going to run in opposite directions, but you couldn't... If you turned around, you would see that we were in a school, so everything had to be filmed one way. Oh, poor Mace. That fake blood, I bought it from Sainsbury's. It was very cheap. It stained his face.
Any last words?
Thankfully, we practically only had this scene to do on that day. But yeah.
Anyone you want to?
It's the fact that it's in his ear as well. He was like vaguely red for the rest of the day and he had to get the train home. I feel so bad. Again, digital zoom. I got them to stand there for so long. This was supposed to be my Kurosawa moment. Got rid of the pulling out the score. I was really pleased with the score because I did the score myself. Worked off basically just having like 2 or 3 motifs, and I think the sad version is my favourite. First time we see Elizabeth with no sunglasses, which is supposed to signify like job is done, although obviously you don't really get a good look at her. Again, Jadzu did a fantastic job acting behind those massive sunglasses that, you know, actors work with their eyes, and she did a fantastic job creating that character without her eyes, really. And you have a shocking little finale. It was a lot of fun watching this back, actually. I haven't watched it for a very long time. And it's good to go back. It's better than I remembered it being, actually, which is nice. I love that. The people who held the lights. There's lighting. My mom gets credit for location because she was the one who suggested that we film at the school. Produced by anyone that gave me money, i.e. my family. And yeah, there we go. That was fun, wasn't it? The end. I really should have put a... I wish I'd kind of had it as the end with a question mark. Anyway, film's finished. Goodbye.